I started. I started. See, we got Keegan Meyer here, Amir Williams. We finally back, man. We finally back. PC was tripping. See what happens, man. I didn't even skip the entire game. See what happens when you bring up these badges? Crash the whole stream. Whole stream done up. Man, Rob, what's up with your boy, man?
Man, I gotta just apologize to the community, man. You know, y'all know I like to keep it real, man. Me and Bill been chatting, man. I was trying to be his lawyer, man. But oh no, man. We had to go all the way to Wisconsin to get Smitty computer, man. Shut it down all the way down there, man. It's crazy, man. I don't know what's going on.
Terrible. Why you get blamed? Why you keep defending these badges? I still don't understand why you guys got a W as a logo. This don't make no sense.
I don't know what's going on. Man, you know, I was just trying to keep it real, Bill. You know, I don't understand why y'all on 6. I don't get it, man. I don't understand.
Now, just as we were about to crack the case, the computer stopped working. So
crack the case. I showed you the defense. Y'all was straight. We not even about to get into that. We not even about to get into that. I ain't about to go down again. Sorry, Bill. Man. But it's a wrap.
It's over, man.
Your boys is trash. But let's move on. Let's wait till we get a little bit, Smitty, guys, in this joint.
Way off topic here, but did you start to stream in the Discord at all?
Oh no, I didn't. Okay.
Wow.
Oh no! Wow. I should be saying the same thing about what you just pulled here.
What did I pull?
You pulled out these badges when they didn't even matter. Nobody was trying to talk about them. You literally made a usual 20-second conversation about Wisconsin turn into about 20 minutes that closed shut the whole stream down.
No,
you were responsible for that.
I'm not responsible for it.
I kind of probed it, man. You know, I was just trying to get to I was trying to crack the case. If you know what I'm saying, man.
Look, the Madden guy said, don't even worry about it. Here. Madden guy said, don't even worry about it. These boys is trash, man.
Oh, my God.
Game said, we're not going to let you talk about it no more. The whole thing took over my PC. They ain't want us talking about the badges. They didn't want to
expose the truth. That's really what happened. It didn't want to expose
they didn't want me to keep diving into why the badges is trash, and it don't matter what book you give them. They still going to be season 1 and season 2. L's.
No. You're like the biggest hater in the world right now.
Who hating? How can I hate on an 0-16?
You. Oh, you're hating.
All right, let's get into this. Let's get into this since the Badgers, man. We're all the way done with them. I might not even talk about them next week at all. But
over.
Yeah. But Georgia and Auburn. Man, this was
Talk
close
about a letdown.
What you say?
Talk about a letdown.
Talk about a letdown. Okay. Well, Georgia.
You hate?
He throwing some shots because his boys. He looking
about a letdown.
His boys wish they had an Auburn record.
I know you're about to go into this, but I gotta say this: how dare you, Georgia? How dare you?
He gonna go in now. He want a bell now.
How dare you? You? How many points? That's like the most points Auburn has scored all year combined.
Oh, come on, Bill. That's low, man.
Trying to play the bell, but it's delayed.
Am I wrong?
Look like even the PC don't even want you talking trash. I got the bell.
Am I wrong?
I got the bell for you though. I played it.
Oh man.
But yeah, Georgia, man, they was on the ropes. Auburn looked like they were gonna run away and win this game. They were pretty dominant for the majority of this game. But I will give my man AR this. The comeback, that was electrifying. 437 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, the 1 interception. Yeah, only 2 on the season though. And bringing the Georgia Bulldogs back against the Tigers 34-31. Go ahead with your rant here, Bill. What you guys say about Georgia, man?
Your rant.
What is this? All right. Congratulations, offense. Congratulations. But this is Georgia. Georgia. How are you letting Auburn, of all schools, you can say what you want about Wisconsin. I'm cool with it. All right. I might act all crazy and big and angry about it, but I'm cool with it. I like the back and forth banner. But Auburn, let's not pretend that Auburn is light years better than anybody that right now that's worse than them record wise. How are you going to let them get 31 points on this defense? How is that even a thing? I'm disappointed. You can say I'm hating because of the last little bit of like 20 minutes, half hour thing that's going on, but this was in my notes. This was down here for me to bring up before we even decided to do this.
Show them the notes, Bill.
I ain't showing them the notes because they're on the computer and I can't do that. I'm supposed to take them from the computer, turn them around.
I thought you had them on a pad. It was about to be able to turn around.
Had a pad? What is this, 1992? No, I got it on the computer.
You look like one of those guys, man.
What is that even supposed to mean? What is that even supposed to mean?
This is a roast.
Oh no, Bill.
I'm like 5 years older than you, acting like I'm ancient over here. I would
CP, roast, but I ain't about to do my man Bill like that.
I'm not taking my hat off no more. Forget you, CP.
Facts. Man, you done, Bill? You done with your little rant?
I think he's done.
I'm done.
Heck. All right. Hey, man, hey, Smitty, I'm not gonna lie, man. I was sitting here streaming. You know, I gotta stream the games and everything, man. I always be trying to make sure I don't make no mistakes. Because I know they be in a little DM, little chatty patties, man, talking about something wrong. It's the mod, man. It's mix. It's the mod. It's mix, man. I'm just glad that my boy Sire Reese, man, stepped inside the booth, loosened down the top, and became Superman in the second half, man. Because y'all boys is down 16-3, if I recall. Yeah, y'all were getting pretty smoked, man. It was middle of the night, man. I said, man, do I need to just call Smitty, man, and make sure that he can see this, what's going on, and see I didn't do anything wrong. Make sure I didn't switcheroo no playbooks. Make sure I didn't try to downgrade nobody, man. Take CC and put him on the center. You know what I'm saying? All this other crazy stuff, man. Because I was worried a little bit about Georgia. For just a moment, man. Them Tigers had them boys boxed in. Yep. Yeah, I got to the half and everything, and I said, okay, man. Something got to give. Please, Asire, please come back and lead them to glory, man. And that's what he did, man. Electrifying the second half of this game, man. 14 points in the third, 17 in the fourth. Big shout out to D.D. Samuel, but, man, a bigger shout out, man, to Tyreek Bryant coming in and saving the day, man. Saving the day, man. Because, oh, boy, the soapbox would have been real if Asire Reese lost this game to Auburn, man.
I said, I'm talking to you. This game, man.
I'm talking to you, boy. I'm talking to you. Yeah,
I'm talking to you. In this joint, man. I kind of figured it would be a little close with Auburn, man. Auburn, you know, despite them, of course, looking terrible this year, it's still Auburn. You know, like Auburn is not going to always be an easy team to beat. Auburn should be able to still rumble with solid squads, despite getting beat down for the most part. You can't sit here and try to put Auburn on Wisconsin's level, Bill. Chill out.
I'm over here. I'm just trying to find the sense that you had there to make that kind of an assumption.
Auburn.
Oh, it's Auburn. Yeah.
It's Auburn.
Auburn's been trash.
Bill, you
can't tell me I'm wrong here.
Hey, Bill, Nick Heller handed in 428 on them boys, man.
428. He was doing his thing.
Look, he ain't had no touchdowns, no production, Smitty.
Yeah,
he was working. He had one. Okay. Yeah, one.
But look, Mike Spear, he didn't even run the ball like that. 13 carries, 41 yards. Look, the offense was humming. That boy Perkins was humming. You know, they were bringing it to Georgia, and really, you know, I'm not going to say it raises concerns, but it does raise a question mark. Like, you know, how do you let Auburn, especially against this defense, like Bill said, put up 31 points and almost win this game?
Yeah.
That's no matter how great that comeback was, Georgia should have never been in this position with this team this year, and for that, we got to drop the bell. Drop the bell. AR did his thing. We're not going to bell individuals, but as a team, the team effort, defense, got to play the bell. You guys stepped up when you had to, but 31 points, you know, to a team like this, that just shouldn't have happened. And you know, we were talking to VC, Rob. You know, you could dive more into this. You know, as much as we, you know, one of the big things that's like a knock other than the height for Asai Reese. And, we could say how efficient he is. It's just the offense has not been able to be consistent for Georgia. You want to talk?
Hey, you know why that is, right?
Why is that?
Because Jacarius Best is apparently at punt returner. That's why. Yeah, three punt returns for 24 yards. And he got winded. And decided he didn't want to run the ball today.
Man.
Catch it on Miners Live.
Hey.
Already up there.
Hey, I say this,
That's
though.
What happened.
Hey, look, I'm not saying it couldn't be a small factor, but I highly doubt that him being on punt return is going to affect how he's been as a running back this season.
I got to say it like this, Vic. Catch it on Miners Live.
Catch it on Miners Live, man.
Yeah. Jacarius, we took you off of punt returns. Now you better have 150 yards, and Georgia better blow out this week, or it's all your fault, buddy. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's all we're gonna say. Mixed live. But yeah, not really too much to say about that. Just a little bit of a.
I love you, Dud. Just messing around, man.
Just a little bit of a, a shocker. That the game was as close as it was. But I said, with this being a conference game, especially within the game, this is them playing in the same division. I kind of had a feeling it would be close, but I just didn't expect it to be like this. But Georgia ultimately got it done. Great teams find a way to win. Georgia continues to roll on. 5-1 on the season, 34-31 final score. We move on, and boy, don't know what's going on with Penn State, but their defense, they don't have one because they literally let Leo Batiste, and this guy's been balling, very underrated running back. This guy handed in 5 touchdowns. 5 total touchdowns for Iowa. 4 on the ground, 1 through the air. And, of course, he's player of the week after that performance. That is just a ridiculous performance. Pretty much he single-handedly destroyed Penn State. And what is he at point again, Rob? Euro Winbush, 76 yards. Iowa wins 41-26.
Yeah. It is. Go ahead, Bill.
I don't have much on this one, so it'll be quick, man. But Iowa is a weird team, man. They have some really good players, but I feel like the whole the team as a whole brings down what some guys can do. Like Batiste, Rivers from time to time, they really show out, and they did here. Batiste obviously had a spectacular game, but man, this was the game for Penn State to get right. This was the game for them to turn it around and get back on track. Get to that offense we saw early on in the season where it looked actually pretty dynamic with Winbush and Yuki sort of playing off of Winbush's success. And now you just got to wonder, man, they just cash it in for the season, because it's not that the Elliott River and the Iowa Hawkeyes aren't a good team, but we thought Penn State wasn't down at this level. Iowa State, they have talent, but they're at this lower level. We thought Penn State was maybe just a team that was more higher up here, just had a rough go of it, but now it's looking like it's the other way around.
Yeah, man. It's just like I say. Now, he did a little bit better than he did in the previous games, and they scored a little bit more points as well. But this offense just totally feeds off of Euro Winbush, man. I really love what Felix Asher is doing, and Jeff Sharp are doing, man. I really love what those guys are doing out there. But the heart and soul of this team, man, is going to be Euro Winbush, man. And if they cannot establish 100 yards a game with Euro Winbush or more, then the team is going to struggle. It's going to struggle, man. As you can see, if you had looked at the box scores, it was like 7 points in the first quarter, and then 2 field goals in the second quarter and the third quarter, or whatever. They're not getting the production. That's because they're not getting the production on the ground. So they're not able to keep up with teams on offense. The defense obviously is out there, way too much tired, and they let Iowa roll, really pretty much roll over them here. And I think that it's not going to get any better for Penn State if Euro Winbush, and I know I'm putting a lot of pressure on one person, but it just is what it is, man. He's got this player here. This player is the center of this defense, this team here. It's almost like the guy from Michigan last year, Smitty. That I kept saying Polly? They need to get him. No, not Polly. It was the running back.
Drake Sandstrom.
Sandstrom, man.
Now,
it's like a Sandstrom.
Sandstrom
Yeah.
was balling. That's
Yeah, I know. But remember, they stopped going to him earlier on, and they started losing. And I said that once they start running that guy more, then that guy is going to actually, be the guy that can keep them in games and stuff. And they kept feeding him as the season went on, and he started doing even better in those games. So I think that with Euro, man, that's the way to go, man. He's just not getting the right production.
You guys there?
I don't. Did it end? Hello?
Yeah,
No, we're here.
I don't know if
Oh.
I think Zoom had a little freeze moment. It kind of cut you out.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. No, but what I was saying is that all I'm saying is this: Yuki is not going to lead Penn State to a playoff or to a national championship. They need Wimbush. I'm gonna leave it there.
Well, I
Yeah.
just wanted to add this really quick here. I don't think that Wimbush is the problem. I think that Wimbush is the key, and the rest of like the line and the game plan is really the problem that's holding them back. Because, like Rob, you just said, Yuki is. I just don't see him being the guy that's going to lead him, like you just said. Wimbush has to be the key. He's got to be the focus. But if he can't get the blocking properly, and if they can't put some type of passing game together to at least alleviate some of the running lanes, this is going to be a week after week occurrence.
So Bill, this is what I see though, right? So on the season, Euro Wimbush right now has 516 yards on the season, which technically is average with the league.
Yeah.
Right? That's about average with the league. Bro, they've lost games every time he doesn't get over that 100 yards. He should probably have, realistically, somewhere between 700 and 800 yards, maybe even approaching 1,000 yards on the season. So maybe it could be the line that you're talking about, but he's just like if that's average for the league, then he's playing below average, because we know the kind of back that we've seen him be, that devastating back, easily 150 on you, and so I just think that he's underperforming in that in this season right now.
Well, let me be my own devil's advocate then. Look at the one game that's really stood out to be one of the best games of his season so far.
Mm-hmm.
Who did they play?
Off the
Wisconsin.
top, yeah.
Wasn't it week 1? First game of the season. They came out flying.
So maybe it was yeah.
And let's just be honest, Wisconsin's a dumpster fire. So I mean,
Yeah,
You know?
it's just the comp.
Awesome.
So Penn State just, I blame it on both the line and at times Wimbush. More so, I do say the line. I do agree. I feel like Wimbush is the key. We know what he could do in the open space, but like it just looks like Penn State isn't equipped to be able to play and run successfully against better talented teams. And Iowa, their defense, they're pretty solid. And, they did a good job of stopping them. And Laterius Batiste, man, like, and this is another thing I Coach done as well, because he talked about this. This is such a rare and honestly, legendary performance from Leo Batiste, because he talked about this. You don't never see a running back take over a game. Like, you see him take over a game, but like literally have all the touchdowns in the game for your offense. You see somebody's going to get in the end zone for a touchdown with a pass, and the one guy that did get that was the running back. He literally scored everything for this team and could not be stopped from first quarter to fourth. So that's just a legendary performance that you rarely see in both levels, at RFL and college. That was just an outstanding performance. Penn State's defense got to step up. The offensive line's got to step up. And, Iowa, this is one thing I'll say, too, about Leo Batiste. He's been consistent, in my opinion, every single week. Every single week. I think it was only one week where he got pretty much shut down, but that was not his fault. The defense was stacked. The line was blowing him up from behind the scrimmage. But there hasn't been a game where I've seen Leo Batiste not be effective as a running back, however way they choose to use him. So this is a RFL scouts. This is a guy to look out for. Watch his games. Watch his film. Early gym right there, just to look out for possibly the future. Once again, I can talk more about this stuff because it's only season 1 for these guys. Season 2, I'm gonna be way more quiet, but pick up on these gyms now while I place them down. That's a guy to look out for right now. And Texas A&M is back, and guess who's back this week to help them get this dub? It's back, 24-17. These guys, it was a nice back and forth battle, but once again, this is another team that relies on the success of their back And Dubak was able to come here, earn his name back, 150 plus yards rushing and a touchdown to beat the Gamecocks 24-17.
Yeah, it was a great performance for Texas A&M and for Dubak especially. He's sort of the same, wavelength when we're talking about Winbush is how Dubak is going to play, because I just don't know if Mayer is the guy that's going to be able to push this team far if Dubak is not at least having a somewhat productive day. I'm a little surprised though with South Carolina and how they've sort of they've slid down quite a bit. I mean, what was it, just 2 or 3 weeks ago we were sitting here 1-2 with USC, and now they 2 games. Is it 2 games in a row now? I think because they were 3-0 with USC.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Were they a pretender? You always have that pretender. There's that one team that just shoots for the moon in the first few weeks of the season, and then they just fall back down to reality, or are they just in a rough spot? I'm not sure. I mean, Rhett looked like the guy, but now he's not looking very good at all anymore. So it's been a weird year so far for South Carolina, but A&M, I feel like they are the better team. I feel like even though the record was, coming into this game worse, they showed a lot on offense throughout a few games that really impressed me. So it's a good win for them. I thought it was a good game overall. And I'm just curious to see what happened in South Carolina, because they fell off.
Yeah, I liked how conservative A&M was. And as you can see, Mayer didn't really have a whole bunch of passing yards. They were just really kind of like dink and dunk. And because of that, it allowed them to establish the run. And obviously, half of a little bit of the yards, 80 yards of Dubach, came from the long gain. But overall, watching him run, the kid was just amazing. And it was just kind of cool to see, a team that wasn't really, I would say, pass heavy, and very conservative, be able to pull this game out, sticking to the small game, getting the small feats to first downs. And they did a good job, I thought. And it just ultimately ended up in a high QBR rating here for David Mayer, a high completion. He only missed 6 passes on the game. And, he handed in a couple of touchdowns, no interceptions, and he got his back, really got going. The play of Wittermeyer also was, pretty good as well. And I just think that overall, that, the defense let them stay in this game. And I really was just thought it was a good game to watch. South Carolina definitely, they were playing very, very well. And it was all. If you're looking for a good game to watch, this is one to watch.
Moving on to the next game, Clemson versus Louisville. This is pretty much must win. Every game pretty much at this point for Clemson is a must win, because no one expected them to come into this Louisville matchup on the road at that 1-4. And honestly, it was still a close game. Louisville is a team that, has been inconsistent, as Rob talked about a little bit earlier, but they are still a solid squad. So, I mean, I expect them to put up some bit of a fight. But once again, the offense of, Clemson is still just struggling to get points on the board. But they managed to come out on top. Defense shut it down. I think it was only 1 touchdown for each side, and Clemson pulls out on top 19-16 here.
This is just a sloppy, rainy, just take whatever you can get, because it's not going to be pretty kind of games for two teams that are sort of in the middle of an identity crisis, trying to figure out who exactly they are. We saw Louisville, like you said, they're a solid team, but 3-3, came in 3-2. Clemson, I didn't think they were going to be this rough starting off to the season. But here we are. They're both middle of the pack. Clemson actually a little bit lower than middle of the pack because of, coming in at 1-4.
Aren't even ranked.
Yeah, it's a weird, I guess it's a weird matchup. It's honestly, even if it was a decent day out without the rain, you probably still would see something similar to this, just because I don't think either team really knows exactly what they are. And they really don't have a direction, it seems. They just sort of just do stuff. They just do whatever is there, and there's no purpose, and it shows with the records that we're seeing, because there's just I don't really know how to put my finger on these guys without I don't know. It's just a weird dynamic, and Clemson just has really underperformed in my eyes. For a while there, it seemed like Cinco was getting things in a groove, and they were going to start turning around, and then it just never took off anywhere after like one game.
Yeah. I have to congratulate them on the win because they desperately needed it. Not wanting to have three straight losses. Obviously, this week they go to play Stanford, and they got NC the following week, so they needed a win desperately here. They are not the Clemson of the past that we know. They're not, the year one Clemson, and certainly not the year two Clemson. Right now, I don't want to say they don't have an identity. I like the wide receivers. I like what I've seen out of Noah Walker, and I like what I've seen at times out of Cinco Cardenas. But I think that the issue here is the consistency of all that, man. They're just not consistent, and they're really close in games at times, and they just end up just kind of like giving up, man. It's always a key third down or something like that that they just end up, blowing, and then the team just ends up, pounding them. But they've been in some pretty close games. I think the biggest margin of loss was the Notre Dame game, or was it the Baylor game or whatever? If I'm not mistaken, no, it was a Baylor game. They lost. They won to Notre Dame but lost to Baylor. So Baylor was the biggest loss they had back in week 2. And I just think that that the team has to find some kind of consistency, man. Otherwise, it's going to be this up down season. They're already looking at 4 losses right now, and they very well could be eliminated within the next few weeks if they don't get it together. And so that would be interesting to see, such a team like this, go down that fast. But it is what it is. So yeah, a bit of a weaker schedule going on the rest of the way. But they gotta win this week, man. They got to get ready for North Carolina the following week.
Yeah, so not really too much to say there. Really wasn't too much to be impressed with. I've been impressed with Clemson's defense, though, because their defense, despite the losses throughout these weeks, they played pretty solid. The only time they gave up, big-time gains and stuff like that was, like Rob mentioned, was against Baylor and that 44-23 loss. But either way, like Rob said, this is a team that has to turn things around quickly, and this is a nice step in the right direction. But talking about Notre Dame here at home hosting LSU, and LSU's been very inconsistent this year, but they put up a good fight against Notre Dame here in this game. It was definitely a very entertaining game to watch, and we kind of, in a sense, look at it as possible classical game we could probably put in our Discord category. But Notre Dame comes out on top here, 34-27.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot on this game. I'm actually, given the recent struggles of, well, not really recent, this whole season of LSU that LSU has had, I'm a little surprised that Notre Dame didn't actually win by a little bit more. I know that LSU has a really good team. Don't get me wrong, but we talked about it last week. We've talked about the week before. Kopasik just is not the guy right now. I know he had a decent game this one, but this has been, for this to be considered a halfway decent game for him, and he still had 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, and he almost was going below 60% passing. It's just not good. I thought Notre Dame might have won a little bit more handedly, but LSU does have a lot of talent in other areas. They have a good run game. They have some pretty good receivers. They have a good defense. It's just that quarterback position that seems to be holding them back. And you can see the level of talent that they possess with, scores like this, even though they've had issues, and we've been talking about them having issues all year. But man, that 2-4 now, Notre Dame though, they're really starting to show some stuff here. This team is a complete polar opposite of what they were last year in the college series. Last year they were just, it didn't even pay to talk about them. They just could not make anything work. This year they got things going. Butterknife is back to being a blade again, and Notre Dame gets a good one. But like I said, I felt like maybe Notre Dame should have won this one by a little bit more, just with the recent struggles of LSU.
Yeah, being on the 3-game losing streak is really not good for LSU, and I think that I wasn't expecting. I don't think I was expecting them to beat Notre Dame, man. I think that LSU, obviously it's the QB issues are coming to haunt them here. But I just think that overall, though, there's just not enough of everything, man. There's just not enough. The quarterback being aggressive. There's not enough of Diesel, who's probably could be their best player on offense, other than Gambino. And I don't feel that Gambino is well. One thing I will say is this now. So Gambino did do pretty good, but now with the change in the DBs, man, it's almost gonna be hard for LSU to establish anything. Because now your big target, who was playing on a lesser defender now, is now no longer able to get those 9 and 10-yard games, 10 catch games and stuff like that. And I think that's going to definitely hurt them now. Now they got to really hope that Kopasik is going to be able to utilize his arm, right? And if you don't get that production out of Wayne Diesel, then it's going to be difficult to beat teams, like Notre Dame. In a few weeks they got the games of their life coming up, man. With not Iowa and Florida the next 2 weeks, but in the next week, in week 9 and week 10, man, they got to go see West Virginia and Alabama back to back, and then guess who they got to go see? USC. So, man, I don't know what they're going to be able to do to get it going, but this is like going uphill right now for them. That's going to be a tall order. So I don't know, man. I really don't know. But it's just it hasn't been the LSU that we've known LSU to be in the past 3 years here in the college series.
And Notre Dame, really great game from Jet Blade. You still see sometimes those little inconsistencies and being a little jittery in the pocket. He had the 4 touchdown passes, which was great in this game. And Vince McDonald, it almost seems to be the key for most teams that are successful. You could rush for over 100 yards with your premier back, then most of the time you see those teams win. And Vince McDonald is one of those backs that when he gets over 100 yards, that's what's happened. That's what happens. And then Notre Dame's defense stepped up with some good turnovers as well. Jay Watt, balling out as well. He's really emerging as like a star wide receiver for this Notre Dame offense. Seen him I'd say about 3 to 4 weeks straight now that he's been able to come up with the big catches. And he's just done an excellent job finding his way in the end zone. Blade being able to hit him. And then, the defense stepping up as well. Like I talked about, getting those turnovers. Mojo Rising, 2 picks in this game. Working on, he's working on Gambino as their top cornerback against their top wide receiver. And like I said, you're going to see a lot more.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot more of that throughout the series.
I forgot about that part too, man. Mojo Rising, man, was absolutely just dominating these guys, man. Sheesh.
Yeah, great catch. It was like one great catch though that Gambino did have on Mojo Rising, but after that, it was just like straps.
Yeah.
So crazy game right there. Talking about crazy game, I felt like this was game of the week, man. Oklahoma versus Texas. Red River rivalry in real life was absolutely phenomenal.
R3.
This Red River rivalry in the RFL was absolutely outstanding as well. The final seconds, Allen Mourning. This is 3-2 record. They have a 3-2 record, and all 3 of their games have been comebacks, and they do it here against Texas, winning it 34-31.
Yeah.
You're reading off my screen here, Smitty, man. That's exactly what I had. This is game of the week to me. An amazing game against two teams that I didn't think were going to produce the best game. Honestly, I thought it would be a couple of different matchups, but we get a heck of a game here. Like you said, Mourning. It's like he just likes the drama, man. He just wants to be up against the wall. Like, he wants to have to do it all just to get the win, and he does it again. Excellent comeback and a great victory for the Sooners. And it sucks for some of these Texas guys because, I mean, look at the numbers that Moses King had here, and that's in a losing effort now. Like, that's just that's a huge day. What is it, 398 and 4 touchdowns? Yeah, that's insane. And then Dixon, Dixon had an amazing day, and it's all in a losing effort because Allen Mourning's wants to play drama child or whatever you want to call it.
This is going to be off subject, man. Real quick, who does Kobe Bamba play for?
In RFL or in college?
Well, in college, who did he play for?
For Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Okay, yeah, man. I was confused as to where he played because he's the creator of this Alan Morning guy. I think I saw that when I was doing the Patreon. Yeah, I was kind of shocked about that, man. So big shout out to Kobe Bamba, man. This Morning kid is pretty good, man. Guy's pretty good. I was watching watching him last couple of weeks, and I'm really liking how mature he is in the pocket, and how well he just came out to play in this game, man. He just looked good. It was like nothing he could do wrong. And man, it seemed like you had him down, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14s, and he just, boy, started slinging that rock, man. And it was difficult. It was difficult at times for Texas really to establish, much of anything, in this game. At times, because of how superior he was, and I thought that when Texas did turn up, I thought that the game was going to be over when they turned up. And that just wasn't the case. They did very well. Hats off and kudos to Morning for the fourth quarter show. It was just a really great great play from him. And at the same time I felt really bad for King because King, 400 yards, great QBR rating, the 4 touchdowns. And he was just in it to win it, man, and but it just wasn't meant to be, and Morning, in my opinion, played just as good as he did, and he ended up, getting that win there. And I just want to say again, I have no beef with anything that Texas did. Texas, played a very good game. Oklahoma played a very good game as well, and this was probably one of my favorite games to call here in the college series. Hats off to both of these teams, man. Sometimes it's just the best, the better team. Well, I don't want to say even say better team. Sometimes the other team just wins. It's just like that, man. I thought Texas played just as good as the Sooners did.
Yeah, it was just a great all-around offensive effort too. I mean, the defenses were a little bit, giving them some big plays, but these are big play-making offenses, especially for Texas, because I remember you were talking about asking because you weren't sure yet. Has Texas got the deep threat wide receivers? Sure enough, they got those deep threat wide receivers now. You see with Dixon, and you had who's the other guy? Start with the M. Dwight.
The receivers?
Yeah, the receivers.
Marcus.
You're
talking about Texas, for Texas.
For Texas, yeah.
The Stevie Johnson is one of them.
Yeah, that's then, the tight end.
Then there's Corey Smith and McKnight.
McKnight and Dixon. Like those dudes stretch the field, making big
and
plays.
Brooks.
That's what
DJ
they do,
Brooks,
man. Yep. Yeah. And it's just a whole bunch of weapons there on both teams, and you just got yourself a great offensive show here from both those teams in this rivalry game. Awesome game, man. North Carolina,
and also CJ Cooper looked good too, bro. He only had the 86 yards rushing, but he was literally every down 5 yards a carry. He looks really good.
He was getting better. He's been getting better every week. He honestly has. This one we didn't get to see. It was simmed, unfortunately, because it was. That's what was going on with the mod. It's the mod.
It's the mod, man.
Mod done messed it up, and it had to be simmed, unfortunately. And Florida State, same outcome we kind of predicted. There's really not too much to say here. North Carolina wins 24-14.
Salud.
That's all I can say there. I can't dive into this.
Salud.
What a good dub. Moving on, Michigan and Oregon. Now, this was the final game of the week, and it was up there, competing a little bit with the game of the week, but I still, of course, got that rivalry over them. But this was a nice back and forth shootout as well. Austin Briley continues to make, big plays. And Krill, I don't know what happened, man. The guy was killing. He had like $130 something in the first half there, and then second half went. And we could have sworn. I got guys saying, he's definitely breaking over 200. Then there's guys saying, AR said 300.
Yeah, I think I said 300 too, man.
Still didn't even, and still didn't even crack 200. That goes to show you how much Michigan's defense whipped themselves right back into shape to shut down what the main threat was. But Jack Wargo still had himself an outstanding performance, over 400 yards passing. Briley going back and forth with him, 2 touchdowns. Both had 1 interception. But Michigan coming out on top. And these boys been kind of rolling, man. Liking how Michigan's looking. 29-22 final score.
That's one of the only real things I have about this game, man, is Austin Briley is I know I said last week that he's impressing me, but this was another thing that really impressed me. And it's not the way he did it, but what he did. And look at Johnson's numbers. He was shut down. They had was like one other person carry the ball once, and it was for a loss.
Yeah.
There was no run game, nothing at all. And on the road, right? This was in Oregon.
This is the best Oregon's defense looked all season too, by the way.
Yeah, and like I'm not taking anything away from their defense, but to be able to score 29, put up 29, and to get a win when you are on your own, and I just thought it was a really good game by Austin Briley. I think that he's really underrated. And same goes for Creel. Like I sort of feel bad for the guy, man. He had a huge start to it. He's had some big breakout games, and it just seems like he's fallen through the cracks just because of things that sometimes are out of his control. And really the whole team on Oregon had a good go of it. Like Van Voorst had a good game. Wargo had a pretty good game, 400 yards. Yeah, he had the interception, but aside from that, he was pretty good. And he was going back and forth, and yeah, I just really like what I'm seeing from Briley a lot. Maybe it's just because I had such low expectations, unfortunately. Like, no offense to Briley if he's in the chat, but 64 awareness, man. Like,
right.
Catch that.
I just assumed that he was going to be some and he's proven me wrong every week.
Yeah, I know guys are all, guys like to what's the word? They like to laugh. They like to laugh at the time when you say it because it makes sense, right? And then when like somebody proves it wrong, then it's like they want to mock you, even though they were laughing with you. Because everybody was laughing with me in week 1 when I saw 64 awareness. Everybody, all y'all. I can go back to the chat. You know what I'm saying? But now he's turned it around, and I know when to admit when I'm wrong. I don't flip flop back and forth. I know when I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I admit it. I was wrong about Austin Briley in the first part of this season, man. He's really stepped up, and he's played some dolphin good ball. You know what I'm saying? In this series, he's been very, very efficient, and I don't have any axes to grind with Briley. I'm an analyst though, and so I have to call it like I see it when I don't have anything to work with. Now in week 6, I have a lot to work with Austin Briley, and I would say that I would take this quarterback any day to help lead my team. Here in this College Series 3, he's played remarkable, excellent football. And what I want to do is jump real quick, Smitty, and look at his schedule, because I want to predict something with Michigan right now, man. Because I think that he's played very, very well, and I'm going to look over Michigan real quick here, and okay, so they got Notre Dame coming up, they got Oklahoma State coming up, they got Georgia coming up, they got Penn State, they got Maryland, Ohio State, Bama, Texas, Arizona State, and UCLA. It's a little bit too warm for me to make an assumption right now, because they got Ohio State, Bama, Georgia, and Notre Dame. But all the rest of these games here, Oklahoma State, winnable. Penn State, winnable. Maryland, winnable. Texas, winnable. Arizona State, winnable. And UCLA, winnable. Those other 4, though, it's going to be up in the air. It's going to be up in the air, those other 4. But we will see how that goes. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how that goes. Let me see. It's what Notre Dame, Georgia.
Which week are you going up? You going up to week 13?
Yeah, I'm going all the way to week 13, right?
Yeah, it's probably.
Oh wait. So it's week 12 then.
No, it goes up to week 13.
Yeah.
It includes the bye week.
So it's actually only Ohio State, Georgia, and Notre Dame are those, and then the other games are Oklahoma State, Penn State, and Maryland. So, what's the record right now for them?
They are 4-2.
4-2.
So it could be 7-5 if they were to lose all 3 of those games to Notre Dame, Georgia, and Ohio State. If they lose those, right? But I guarantee they're going to win Maryland, Penn State, and Oklahoma State, right? I got a feeling they're going to win all 3 of those. So that automatically gives them extra 3 wins there, and then 3 losses. That's at worst. Now, what if they could swing one of those games? What if they go in and beat Notre Dame at home next week? That could be this week. Yeah, this week. Yeah. So what if they go ahead and beat them? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this team is looking real good, and they're trying to play for a bowl. Go Michigan! Salute.
Yeah, that's all we can really say about that one. I think I pretty much explained on my half on my thoughts coming in this game. Before I let you guys give your opinions. So that's it for the game recaps. It was a great week 6 of the RFL. About to head into week 7 to let you guys know what that matchup is. But of course, before that, we have to show you guys the top 25. But let's go ahead and get a look at our players of the week this week. Leo Batiste had himself a phenomenal showing, 30 carries, 246 all-purpose yards, and 5 total touchdowns at the running back position, scoring all the touchdowns and upsetting Penn State for Iowa. So definitely deserving of the Offensive Player of the Week award. I will also give a shout out to Sire Reese. He was nominated as the rival between this, but after that type of game and scoring all the touchdowns for your team and having more touchdowns than Sire Reese with 5 instead of 4 at running back, this guy could not be denied that award. The defense, was it Coney?
Coney Durr.
Coney Durr. Okay.
Coney Durr.
Coney Durr. He had 11 tackles at cornerback and an interception and a touchdown. The touchdown came off a fumble recovery. That's not one of our guys though, but he won Defensive Player of the Week. Now, time to get into the top 25, which of course you guys know, hold your pride, because it all comes down to the end of the season and we know the real of the real. So this is your new top 25 rankings. And we still have USC at number 1 and Georgia at number 2. Number 3, North Carolina moves up after their win. They have a better record than Miami overall now. So they move up leading the ACC. They go to 3. West Virginia moves up because of that. They go to 4. And Miami, off their bye week, drops down here to 5. We got Baylor at 6. Ohio State staying at 7. Notre Dame at 8. Michigan at 9. Florida 10. TCU still continuing to move up here. They're at 11, almost in the top 10 here. Oklahoma 12, South Carolina 13, dropping. Alabama, I think they had a bye week this week, didn't they? I think that's why they dropped. Yeah. They had a bye week, so they didn't play. Oregon at 15, Iowa 16, Texas A&M 17, Louisville 18, Tennessee 19. Clemson coming back up in the rankings from being unranked up to 20 because of where their standings are now in their conference. And LSU at 21, Texas 22, Florida State 23, Penn State 24, and Arizona State finally getting ranked here after their 2-game winning streak, just closing in at 25. So thoughts on this list? I know Rob was there with me. Bill, what's your thoughts on what
I'm
this
assuming
list
that there's an explanation for it that I just refuse to listen to, but I feel like Ohio State should be higher, but I'm assuming there's something that's there that's causing them to not be higher.
Well, what it was mainly for us because they both won. Well,
I just think Ohio State should, I can understand them being below the 6-game teams because they didn't play 6 games, but I feel like out of all the teams other than that, I know that's why Miami dropped and Baylor is there. I feel like
What
they
was
should
the
at
loss
least be
to?
above
well, I feel
Miami
like
and
the main
Baylor.
reason
Who was the loss to?
Ohio State lost to
USC was the only team they lost to,
and Baylor lost to North Carolina off that block punt. So that's another team that.
No, I hadn't even thought about it, Bill. So
yeah, I just think Ohio State.
But
that's why we need everybody in the call, man.
Well, I'm sorry, man.
But even with that though, I still feel like the reason why I think we still agreed that Baylor went over Ohio State is because even though Baylor had the bye week, they have the same record and they were ranked over them. So it's like
that's right. That's
so
what I'm
that
curious
yeah
for.
that's
They ranked higher.
They were ranked higher because at the time they had a better record. They had the bye week. Now that the record is even, but we didn't take it to that. We didn't put Ohio State over them yet for that reason.
So Baylor started out over Ohio State when this all started. Oh, okay, so that's why, Bill, because he don't let them lose position basically, unless they lose to the team or if the team hopscotches them somehow.
Alabama shouldn't have fallen this week, and neither should have Ohio State last week if we don't lose position.
That's from looking at the if you look at the records, it's also you got to look at the conference standings. So there was probably South Carolina. Yeah, South Carolina is ahead of Alabama in the SEC. So for that reason, there was other 3-2 teams that were going to go above them, which was Oklahoma, which was the only one, and then South Carolina is higher than Alabama in the SEC because of their conference record. So they have to go behind those two teams. That's the reason why they dropped down with their bye. But
I just think Ohio State. I mean, like, I don't. To me,
it is,
if they have one more win on there,
really
they should
number
be
7
above
school.
Georgia. To be honest with you,
you say what?
If it's not for all of these weird implications, and I know I'm not saying they're weird because they don't make sense. I'm just saying there's a lot of different implications that you look into. If it's my board, I'm putting USC 1 and Ohio State's right below them at 2.
Yeah.
Like no offense, Georgia, but you can't let Auburn have 31 points and expect to be the number 2 team. Like I just in my book, Ohio State's number 2. I would put Georgia at 3, more so of anything, and then North Carolina right below them. But I just think Ohio State's ranked way too low. Same with Alabama, honestly.
Hey, it's a good call. That's why we need everybody in the call, man. You know,
well, that would
even Smitty and Forbes, man.
Yeah, the thing, even with that, the only thing that could have even possibly changed that could have been up to debate would have been Baylor and Ohio State. Everything else would have had to fall in the place that it is.
Well, what he said, it's a good argument though. What he said.
Why would
Ohio
State skip all of you? Yeah. Because the only team they lost to is the number 1 team, and they've been killing everybody else. That's why.
And another thing too, like that I'm saying is like we know that there are better teams that they're ranked up. This is why it's like this is the great thing about adding this to the podcast that we could talk about because it brings up those topics because at the end of the season, there's going to be no excuse on where you're ranked. Like it's going to actually turn out to be perfect rankings because you literally played everyone in your conference. You all played the same amount of games, and that's going to place you guys in the true top 25 of the country. Like this sporadic movement, this is why this is great conversation for us to have because, like I said, I'm not going to argue the fact that I feel like Ohio State, I feel like kind of them and Georgia is neck and neck mainly because Georgia's defense. Granted, they gave up the 31 points to Auburn, but I do feel like Ohio State. I do want to see them play tougher competition, which they will later on. And when they played tougher competition, they lost to it.
Hey, look. Y'all gonna get this Ohio State work. Y'all gonna get this Buckeye work. Just calm down and just be happy they at number 7 right now. Ohio State ain't complaining. Trust me. They know what they doing. They know what they doing right now. You just better hope they hire you so you don't have to match up against them, man. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Pecan, man. They said thank you guys for being respectful. With debating. But man, I'm telling you, we done everything, called each other everything, except put each other through the tables, man. So it ain't nothing that Smitty can say to me, and I say to Smitty, and Bill say to us, and we say to Bill that is ever going to offend us, ever, bro. Like, y'all don't even know the half. Like, we've been in arguments that's serious. Probably would have ended up in somebody getting stabbed in the alley, man. But not here. Nah, that's not how we roll, man. We keep it real. It is what it is. And at the end of the day, we all respect each other and they're not trying to stab each other in the back, man. That kind of thing, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
You can't have two debates without.
I'm not saying that all these teams are worse, like horribly worse than Ohio State, but like for everybody in this chat, like to tell me that out of all of the 1-loss teams, that Ohio State is the 5th best one. That's a lie, and you guys should all know that. Yeah. I mean, calling me a Wisconsin fanboy is the definition of you knowing I'm right and you don't have an argument for me. Like, come on, guys. Let's not be unrealistic here.
Smitty, way too early prediction. Monty Wyatt versus Asire Reese.
This is what I'm going to say. In that matchup, I do feel like Georgia is going to win. Okay. I do feel like Georgia would beat Ohio State when they play each other because they do play each other on the season. I just really can't explain it, but I feel like in that matchup, if it comes down to the quarterback play consistency, even though Monty Wyatt, most likely it will be. Even though Monty,
it ain't gonna be Fulton best.
I just feel like
it's gonna be Monty. It's gonna be Monty and no, it's gonna be Bryant and Asire versus Monty and Houston. And you better hope Brody don't get in there. But they better hope that Dede don't start catching balls.
This is another point in which why I feel I favor Georgia in this is because if we're talking about that matchup, who's got the better cornerback to match up against the receiver?
Well, yeah.
Georgia's got the better.
Unless he playing like he played against Auburn. Let me stop playing.
My boy did touch
I'm playing CC. I'm playing, man.
Up in that,
I don't mean it, CC.
But yeah, that's the reason why right now, like I can't wait for that matchup. That's going to be a great game. That's for
That's
sure.
gonna be a great game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can't wait for that. It's like coming up soon. If not this week, it's next. I
yeah.
think it's week 8.
Next week, week 8. Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's going to be
Osiris has been talking about it, man. He's got commercials for it.
must see
Week 8.
must see
Yeah,
TV right there, and best
right.
believe it's going to be on a Monday.
Yeah.
So no, y'all be one of them Thursdays, but nah, son, ain't gonna happen. Let me see. Okay, so now with that, yeah, I'm like, okay, I gotta mute this. Let's go ahead and get a look at the week 7 schedule. So this is what we got coming up this week. Talked about a couple of them. Starting out, we have. Let me go ahead and go to the Discord so I can post
Dubs.
the spreads. All right. So Texas A&M versus Georgia. Texas A&M, it's been up and down, but I still feel like they're a very solid team. That's not easy to beat. And Georgia has struggled on the offensive side of the ball a bit with consistency, punching the ball in for touchdowns. And against that Texas A&M defense, I don't feel like Georgia's going to be able to put up a lot of points. But I do feel like, of course, Georgia's the better team, and I got them winning by 6 or more.
Yeah, and again, like it seems like every time I have a hot take, everybody just assumes I hate everybody else. Like it's not the case. I think Georgia is the number 3 team right now in the whole series, right there with Ohio State, who's number 2, and I think Georgia will win this easily by more than 6. Like I like A&M, and I think they have some good pieces, but Georgia's going to win this game. I'm just concerned for you guys' defense because it is definitely discounted from compared to last year. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I think Georgia gets it done at home, man. I don't think that they struggle in this game either, man. I think it's going to be a Georgia Bulldog type of day at home. Got to respect the home team, man.
All right, next game at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we got Louisville versus Ohio State. I got Ohio State here winning at home by a touchdown or more.
Easy.
Yeah. Only thing sweet is going to be them jerseys of Louisville, though, man. That's going to be real sweet.
Don't sleep on Louisville. We've seen them in some games, though. Wouldn't be shocked if they did a little something here, but I don't think they beat the Buckeyes.
Nah, not while you're at home.
Alabama versus Wisconsin.
Easy
Might as well go skip to
dub.
the next one now. I got the biggest spread, 14 or more points.
Ain't no way. Easiest dub of the year. Let's go Badgers.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep my head down like this, Smitty, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man.
And next game, Maryland versus Penn State. I got Penn State by 4 more points.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll take him for the 4-point spread.
Yeah, I can't comment, Smitty. You know, I got the outcome already.
All right. UCLA versus South Carolina. South Carolina, I think this is the game they finally bounce back.
They better.
And they got to win by 5 or more.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, I like South Carolina at home.
All right. Clemson versus Stanford. Both of these teams have been, on a downward spiral. But Clemson's starting to get a little bit more of a lighter schedule. And I think Clemson's going to be able to come out victorious on the road here by 6 or more.
Yeah, I got to go Clemson here too. I thought they were underperforming already this year. We know Stanford's been a mess. So, yeah, I think Clemson gets back on track here.
I'm going to go ahead and jump on the other side and stir it up a little bit, man. Le Cavalier.
Oh,
Cavalier. This is your week to hand in 200 yards of rushing offense and for Stanford to beat the brakes off of Clemson this week at home.
Against that defense? Man, if he does something like that, that's crazy.
If you do this, you'll go down in history in the RFL somewhere. We'll figure out where to put you, man. You know what I'm saying?
And
go down on a limb here for the Cavalier, man.
That's our 1 p.m. games. 4 p.m. games, Iowa versus LSU. Despite LSU's struggles, I feel like LSU gets the dub here by 4 or more.
I'm riding
Smitty,
the coattails
man.
of Elliott Rivers.
Oh, Smitty, man. Lord of the Diesel, man. Lord of the Diesel boy, man.
Iowa Hawkeyes.
Smitty, I don't know if LSU, man, gonna beat Iowa, man. Am I bugging?
Look, I got them by 4 or more points. I if it goes either way, I wouldn't be surprised. But I just feel like LSU still has a lot of talent, and should be able, like, as long as Skopacek has an average game and gets the ball to his receivers as best he can, I feel like this is a game that they should win as long as their defense handles Leo Batiste running the football. If they can stop him from having like a 100-yard game and be able to have an average day through the air, then I think LSU is able to pull out on top with this game.
Wayne Diesel, I know you're somewhere in a bunker right now, hanging out, listening to the podcast. This is your challenge for the week. I need you to get 150 plus yards against Iowa at home for the win. Anything less than that, I think it's an L.
Against Iowa's defense, though, I don't think even as great as he is at breaking tackles, I don't think he's going to be able to do that. Sorry, D's. But we got Tennessee versus Auburn. Even despite the great performance they had against Georgia, almost pulling off probably the biggest upset, I got Tennessee coming and winning this one. And this is a field goal spread here, 3 or more points.
Yeah, I'm going to take Tennessee. I gave Georgia a hard time, but I don't think Auburn is going to do anything with that little bit of momentum like they had. Like that was pretty much their win of the year, even though they lost. So I don't think they're going to win. I'll take Tennessee with the spread.
Yeah, man, I think Slim Duncan
gonna be dunking on
just turns into a wrestler. Snap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen, man. I think he gonna get there and then break those boys up, man.
I thought I was watching a WWF commercial. Oh man.
Snap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah.
So
Slim Duncan for the win, man.
So the final
Open up a can of them boys.
Eastern game, we have Oklahoma State versus Texas. I got the Longhorns here, like 3 or more.
Yeah, I really like what Texas did last week, even though they lost. I'll take Texas at home with the spread.
Hey, Roper, where's Roper at, man? Roper out here?
Yeah, he's here.
Roper with a ball.
I wish that he goes off for another $150. I just don't know if they're going to give him the ball like that.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Roper, man. OSU for the win.
There you go.
All right, 8 p.m. Eastern game. Now, this is a game I'll get with you probably, like, if not tomorrow, probably the next day, Rob, on if I'll be able to call this game. But USC versus Arizona State on Saturday. I got USC, and despite the firepower of Arizona State, I think USC's defense is very solid and should be able to keep up with these guys. And I got them winning by 10 or more.
I'll take that.
Alvin Poole, man. Dropping kids at the pool, man. You might do it on them, man.
It's funny because that does have another meaning, which is hilarious.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. Drop the kids at the. That's what I mean.
Man,
Yeah, he gonna dolphin on them. That's what I've been saying. I've been saying it. You know,
I thought you were just saying it to say it. I was just like, oh man.
Drop the kids at the pool. Yeah, let me go ahead and get the turd emoji in the chat, guys.
And so on Sunday, Michigan versus Notre Dame. This is a great matchup. Number 9 versus number 8. This is a big game for Michigan, as Rob was talking about. The rest of the schedule, some tough competition. If they can swing one of these big 3 games that they have left on the schedule, these guys could, you never know, end up somewhere and even playoff, contentions, because they've only lost 2 games. So if they can beat Notre Dame at home, then that's going to be a huge statement. But I got Notre Dame winning, field goal or more.
This is a tough game. Part of me wants to go with Michigan here.
So that's obviously a no.
No, I'm going to go Michigan.
All right.
You going Michigan?
I'm going to go Michigan. I'm going for the upset.
Okay.
It's not even an upset, but I'm going for it.
Man, with the way Mojo Rising played last week, and he's going to be strapping up who this time?
Who's Cameron Reed?
Cameron Reed. So he's going to go Cameron Reed versus Mojo Rising. That's going to be a good matchup right there. That eliminates that right there. Let's just say that Mojo wins that battle and reduces Cam Reed down on that. Okay. So then, who else does Michigan have?
Blake.
Okay.
This one dude, Blake. He led the team in receiving yards last week, like $150 or $160.
So feel like we're missing somebody though. Is there somebody else, a tight end or a wide receiver? Not sure.
Off the top of my head, that that's that explode. Holford is the tight end. I know him.
Holford. Okay.
The other wide receiver, no, I don't really.
And who's the halfback here from Michigan? This is
J.C. Johnson.
J.C. Johnson. Okay.
First game he was shut down last week. 19 carries, 30 yards, but like every other week he's been punching it in on the ground.
This is gonna be a tough game, man. Michigan, y'all got to come in there and just tear the cathedral down, man. Y'all got to burn it down. That's what y'all got to do, man. Y'all got to go in there and really play tough, man. I'm gonna go with y'all as the underdog here. I like the underdog. I think you guys are the underdog here. Can you beat the juggernaut Irish, man? Let's see if you can do it. Let's see if we can get it done.
I think I know why Michigan works.
Why?
Briley's awareness is so low.
You don't think about
it. He doesn't even know what's going on. He's just throwing the thing.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. He's just not even. He's not worried about mojo.
I'm gonna tell you why he's so good, man. It's because he got that old model type of what do you call it? The throw, man. It's like this, like some kung fu. Some kung fu, and he be like this, and he's just looking around like this, man. That's what it is, man. It's that
it's a line. He's lining it up. He's like looking. He's like
kung fu.
Okay,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
He doesn't need awareness for that.
Throw styles.
He's got it all right here. This is where his awareness is.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the same throw style Joseph Gilly got, but nobody peeped.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's ugly, man.
TCU versus Oklahoma. This is a great Big 12 conference matchup. We know TCU's been on fire. Amazing return by Oklahoma. This is another great game, which is why they're in prime time. But I think this is where Oklahoma is going to end TCU's streak, man. I think that Oklahoma is going to beat TCU here by a field goal or more.
We might need to move that to Monday night. I know the Miami boys ain't going to like that, man. We might need to move that.
Not until you hear the rest of these games on Monday night.
All right. We're gonna see.
I don't think so, man. I think TCU. I think this is the game where all that fancy fourth quarter comeback stuff don't work because I think TCU's offense will put up too many points.
All right.
That's going to be a great game. I have no idea who's going to win or lose, but I'm just going to say it's Jaws. Jaws.
All right. So, and for the final game day of the week, we have West Virginia versus Baylor. Conference Big 12 matchup once again right there. These are top 10 teams and pretty much juggernauts, like guys competing for like that top 4 spot. I got West Virginia though winning on the road. Field goal or more.
Man, this is a really tough one.
That's a tough game, man.
This is tough because if Atomo is on, it's I think it's easy Baylor. But I don't know if that's going to happen with West Virginia, man. I don't know.
Those defenses are going to be serious.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I think I'm going to have to go. You go first. I don't know.
Go ahead, Bill.
I don't know what to pick.
Oh. Well, I love West Virginia, man. I think West Virginia is an awesome school. And I also think that Baylor is an awesome school. So this has just got the makings of a great defensive matchup, man. Great offensive matchup. It's going to be a great game, man. Let me get hashtag bear meat. Somebody getting mauled, man. So I don't know if the Wolverines coming out. I mean, not the Wolverines, but the Mountaineers coming out here and making some bear meat, these guys. or if the Baylor Bears, man, about to come in there and maul on some human steaks, man. So this is gonna be a great game. I can't wait for that one, man.
So who y'all going with? Gotta give a choice. Just make a decision.
Baylor. I'll go with Baylor, man. Bear meat for the win, man.
I'm gonna go West Virginia.
All right.
West Virginia. It's not a bad choice, man.
No,
either way, this could go either way, man.
Tajay Gaddy, Grayson Mitchell is on fire right now, man. You know what I mean? It's not bad.
Gaddy and Mitchell is just a really tough duo.
And the receivers of West Virginia is crazy.
Hey, Bill. The Baylor Bears got some funky bears, boy. They got some funky bears on the other side. I'm trying to tell you,
my mind 4 times. We'll talk about this game for 4 minutes, and I'll change my mind 4 times.
It's all types of Baylor Bears. Funky, funkified, steaky bear. Steak.
So as crazy as a matchup as that is, we get to the game of the week prediction. Miami versus North Carolina. And I got Miami winning on the road by a field goal or more. Main reason why is because I just don't trust the North Carolina offense and their consistency against Miami's top tier defense. I think they shut them down from scoring points. I think that Miami's got a better chance to score points with their offense as opposed to, of course, UNC, and they should come out with more points at the end of this.
This is another really, really tough one. This is a tough one. But you know what? I think it's about time. I've given these guys enough crap. I'm gonna jump back on the Miami bandwagon now.
All right.
We don't want you on the bandwagon, Bill.
Oh, I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I don't care. I don't care. I decide what bandwagon I'm on. I'll make my own bandwagon. I don't care.
Security.
The only reason I left is because of a certain somebody who was playing a position last year that just made it difficult to watch. And that's gone now.
Security, don't let any Wisconsin fans into the stadium this weekend. Next week.
Get them out of here.
Hey, first of all, Miami's gonna be at home, man. So y'all already know Big's coming out. Big's coming to town, man. So y'all already know I got the suite popping off. You know what I mean? It's the first time I'm gonna be able to have the suite down there. So y'all already know, man, how we do in Miami when he at the home games, man. So that's going to be a big deal. Everybody should come to that game. You know what I'm saying? You don't go to any other game.
Switch that in the file. Let's make sure we switch that in the file.
We'll switch,
Of course, North Carolina can't play home.
They can't play. Yeah. So all you already know, man, we already going to have the tailgates going on down there in Miami, man. I'm going to be there about a day early and everything. So it's going to be awesome and everything, man. So you guys be prepared for that. And I'm going to say this, though, man. Miles McCain, man. I got a challenge for you, buddy.
Ooh,
Miles McCain, I'm going to need you to turn things around here, man, and show people that you've been on the road for 6 weeks, bro. 6 weeks you've been on the road, man. About to be 7 weeks, and they're not giving you no respect, Miles McCain. They're not giving you no respect, man. So, look, I'm going to need you to get on the road here, man. Get down to Miami and show the people. Take your respect, man. Take your respect. Because this is an interesting storyline, guys.
We need you to play like that sim game against Florida State, my boy.
Yeah.
Touchdowns, no picks.
Yeah. Guy ain't played no home games, man. So, look, Miles McCain, don't come down here. Don't come down there to Miami, man, and start playing foo-foo. Come down there and play some football, man. And leave it your respect and your dignity, man, because you know the Miami guys, man. They gonna turn up. They win by 1. It's gonna feel like they won by 100, man. So you got to come down there and show them, man. You know, so come down there in your little Carolina blue and get it done. Get it done here, man. That's all I can say.
That's it right there for the schedule that we have coming up here. Let me just ask you guys. I think it's pretty obvious. We already talked about them. What game do you see here sparking as the game of the week?
I'd have to go.
It's actually a couple of them.
There
definitely is quite a bit this week.
A couple of them.
I mean, obviously, I think I have to go. One of the two games on Monday is what I'm choosing between, in my opinion. Actually, three.
It's actually
I can put Michigan and Notre Dame in there.
Yeah, it's actually 5 games to me, Bill. I'm gonna tell you which
who
ones
else you got. I mean, obviously Alabama, Wisconsin would be good, but we know
yes.
Wisconsin's going to win.
No. But you know why that's going to be? You know why that's my number one? Well, not my number one, but one of them is because Wisconsin is so horrible, and Alabama has not been Alabama from the last season, and Alabama desperately needs to beat Wisconsin. Right? They just got to beat them.
This is the worst part, though, is it's not going to happen. So that sucks.
And if they lose to Wisconsin. It's going to be bad because, see, even when Bama wins, people hate it. So even if they do beat Wisconsin, no one's going to talk about it, but I will. You know what I'm saying? But they got to beat Wisconsin in order for them to keep their dignity. Because if they lose, it's going to be worse than losing to Georgia by 52 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be worse.
If there's a one, like this is like Marvel like Endgame. Like there's one way that Alabama actually beats Wisconsin.
Right.
Do you honestly think Alabama wouldn't be the most loved team ever?
What am I hearing right now? You about to crash my PC again with this.
Also,
get out of here. So the Michigan and Notre Dame is going to be another prom game, right?
I think TCU and Oklahoma is going to be a great game because those are two great teams. So that's going to be a great game. And obviously the Monday night games with Baylor and West Virginia and Miami and North Carolina, man, those are all set. So that's my 5 games that I think all are crucial games this week.
I've decided which one is my number 1, and that is West Virginia and Baylor.
Yeah, I agree. West Virginia and Baylor, going to be a good one.
That's what's up, man. And so with that being said, this will be our last topic to talk about for the college. This is just us ranting off our minds. So based off of what you've seen so far in this series, if you had to pick and choose the top 4 teams today to play in the RFL College Series playoffs, as I mentioned when we first started this, what 4 teams would you choose right now?
Oh my God!
Well,
top
without
4.
question, I already have 3 of them completely in place: USC, Georgia, and Ohio State. The only question is which one of the final 4 or 5 teams that are sitting here with 1 loss fills the 4th spot for me.
Wow!
I don't even have to think about that.
Let's go pull up the top 25, so you guys can have a record basis.
Yeah.
USC, Georgia, Ohio State is what you're saying, Bill?
Yep. I think those will be the 3 teams that stand out at the end of this whole thing.
And if you had to choose 4, if you had to choose your 4, who would that be?
If I had to choose one more team, I would go with West Virginia. I just like that offense. That offense is so good right now. It's between them and North Carolina, or I mean not North Carolina, Miami.
Well, old Rob is about to reach right now, man, because this is going to change, man. It's going to change. It's going to change from week to week, guys. But right now, man, I got to have USC in there. I got to have Georgia in there. I got to have North Carolina in there. And I think I got to have, and I know they want me to, I know they want me to call them out, man. I know Ohio State want me to call them out, man. I know Miami want me to call them out, man. This is really hard for me right now, man, because I got Baylor as well. But I'm going to tell you, man, while I know that Baylor, Miami, and Ohio State are very good teams, man, I got to go a little bit further and reach, man. Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I want to see what old Deotis Speller, man, Shock Jaws, Harris. Yeah, I want to see TCU, man. I want to see. No, let me finish. Let me get mine off. Thank you very much. I could easily bandwagon those top premier teams up there, but I've chosen to go with TCU because they're on their winning streak here. They have 2 wide receivers who are leading the country. They have one of the top backs in the country as well. And Deotis Speller is actually killing that quarterback. And they have a very good reason, right? A very good reason to be in discussions for a team that could compete at a bowl game and possibly playoffs should they get some wins going on the rest of the season. Man, they play remarkable. And I like that team because they are not one of the main teams. They're not one of the top teams, the classical teams, right? This is a lower level team that's playing very good right now. And if I had to say right now, I would like to see TCU go on a 6-game winning streak and go up here and make some noise and see if those wide receivers, how good they are against the top tier talent. And that's just how I'm saying it. I'm sorry, guys.
Hey,
Miami, I love you. Baylor, I love you. West Virginia, I love you. Ohio State, I love you. I know y'all guys are going to be good. You know what I'm saying? But I just got to call it how I feel it. You know what I'm saying? I've been following TCU as well. You know what I'm saying? So I like the underdog. And that's why I chose North Carolina as well, because North Carolina has not played any home games. And they're getting it done. You know? So yeah, I said Horned Frogs. Yep, that's what I said. Horned Frogs.
Lito said Corn Frogs.
Yeah. Oh, the Corn Frogs. Yeah, I got it. Y'all know. Look, I know y'all big teams are more than likely going to be in this thing, man. But this is my personal opinion. If I wanted to see those teams, if you want me to just tell you who I think if you want me to be analytical and say who are the top teams, it's simple. I could tell you easily right now. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to give a different, a different opinion.
Well, me, I think USC, I think Georgia, The 3 and 4 gets, kind of tough, but I do feel like Ohio State will make it in there. And then if we're really looking at the most talented team that has a chance to beat the others, in my opinion, is Miami. I think Miami, just because of that, how that defense is solely, if their offense can get a little bit more consistency, it's not like they're bad. Like at times they go off, but they have average days. If they can get a little bit above average on the offensive side of the ball, Miami is a team that I think at that point is better than North Carolina because they had struggles on the offensive side of the ball. West Virginia, I like how their offense looks at times. Yes, the wide receivers are beastly. Running back is beastly. Tajay Gaddy's look good, but I have seen Tajay Gaddy against stiff competition look shaky and have to win a game at a late throw or a late drive, and sometimes he's lost that. I think he's done that one time already this season. If I had to go off of those implications, I feel like Miami would be better than the rest of those options. So that's where I would throw them at 4. And then our last topic, this one not college series related. So this news broke. We've been new about it about 3-4 weeks ago, about a month. But finally put the news out about it. This news broke right after our last podcast. And got to feature in that Mitch's podcast, the 307 Room. So the Diablos went out and traded with the Pioneers, and they got themselves their quarterback for this season. We'll see if that of course stays to be the case. We know George McAfton with the Pioneers last season broke a record, not in a good way. 27 interceptions. Most interceptions in RFL history. But that was his worst we've ever seen him play. And this guy is now headed to the Diablos. I want to ask you guys how you feel about this trade, and then after that, I'll speak my opinions as well. So, thoughts on if McAfton is going to be successful here with the Diablos or not?
What was sent again?
So they traded their 2nd and 4th round pick for George McAfton.
So I'm not a huge fan of McAfton. I think everybody knows that. I've had some choice words for him in the past. I don't know if a new team is going to fix that. I don't know if and it's okay. Let's look past even my thoughts about McAfton as a player. And let's look at where the Diablos are, right? So, it was decided that the team is going to, move on from Pritchett, the quarterback, the veteran quarterback, and they were going to, go and get their new quarterbacks. They have 2 of them right now. They were looking to look and see who could be the guy, Parker Thomas and now James Ramos. And it's like they're stuck in this crossroad now because now there's nothing that would make sense about either one of those guys getting a chance to start at all anymore, right? McAfton is there, and maybe it is just this year, but I feel like if you were all in on this year, then you might as well just kept Pritchett, or at least try to re-sign Pritchett. You could have still let him go to. He goes in free agency, you cut him, whatever the case. Yeah, that's great. But you still have that option to sign him later. I just feel like there's more risk in this move than there is reward. There's a potential that McAfton just hits his head on the doorway on the way into the facility and all of a sudden remembers how to play quarterback. That's a possibility. And he stops throwing 18 interceptions a season or more, or whatever the case. But I just don't know if that's going to happen. And, you can say, oh, well, they have a good running game with Axel. Let's not act like the Pioneers didn't have a good running game. They had great backs last year for him. And they had a great defense. Granted, was it as good as the Diablos? No, that team overall was not as good as the Diablos. But would that team have been a lot better if it wasn't for this guy at quarterback? Yeah, they probably would have. So I'm really torn on this. it could play out really well. But then you pretty much just wasted draft picks now with Thomas and with Ramos. Or it's going to end up crashing and burning, costing a second and fourth round pick and stunting the growth of the two quarterbacks you have sitting there. So that's I'm torn, but that's my thoughts.
That's why I get so mad, man.
Why is that?
I'm looking at the chat and I see a comment. Oh, McAfton, or what was it? What was it? Pritchett was down to a 72. And I'm just gonna air out this RFL Illuminati that wants to protect every quarterback in the league from the past who's done nothing, in my opinion. Because I feel like sometimes it spills over onto great coaches here in the league, man. I want to win, dog. I want to win ball games. I want my franchise to survive. I don't want it to just get by and struggle with the quarterback that I'm trying to save on some paternalism, fake loyalty to a QB who's done nothing. I've gotten into arguments with my friends in this league over this quarterback who's done nothing. And then you got this secret society that talks behind the scenes and acts like and keeps this guy alive. Why is this even news? Why is it even worthy of a Beazle graphic? McAfton goes to the Diablos. And I love Forbes to death. And I know he's a smart guy and he's going to get it done. But there's so many other quarterback options for him. So many other quarterback options. Maybe wait and draft your guy next season. You know, maybe wait until someone falls into the free agency. Maybe develop the youth that you got there and work with them. Or maybe be like me and say, no, I'm going to go get my number one quarterback right now in the draft. I'm going to trade some stuff. You got enough pieces. Everyone knows the Diablos are stacked. Got to be somewhere he can get some wiggle room and release some guys and trade up and get a first round pick like Bill does, like Coach Kozera did, like Mix does, like everybody else who wants to be great. So I'm sorry if this, peas on the Wheaties of some of you OGs who feel you know everything about all these players. But I'm just calling it a cap fest right now. McAfton is not news in Diablo. He's not news in Mexico City. I feel sorry for Parker Thomas. I feel sorry for Ramos, who's going through this now. And it's just going to be a nightmare next season, guys, for the Diablos. Because they don't have a quarterback. If you got three quarterbacks, you got none. And that's all I'm going to say.
I'm glad to hear that we all have different takes because mine's definitely going to be different from these two guys. So
yeah, of course. You have some weird love affair with this guy.
Ooh, McAfton?
Yeah, you do.
Because I'm actually about to eat into your discussion, which you was talking about why he was struggling in Salt Lake City, which I always talked about this. So, for one, when we talk about, I agree with you, Bill, that off the rip, McAfton shouldn't even be here because, in my opinion, you should have kept Pritchett.
Yeah.
You should have kept Pritchett hands down. He ain't right now better than Pritchett. So if he kept Pritchett, and I know it was for the money and all that, and he got himself a solid cornerback for this, but like at the end of the day, your offense is very important in the RFL. You have to be able to put up points. We know how important the quarterback position is in the RFL, and to have Aaron Pritchett just go into free agency when you had a quarterback that could have led your offense and kept them going. And granted, he's got his opinions on how he felt Pritchett wasn't all the way, doing his job. I felt he was doing his job because the offense was completely different. Was completely set for Axel to run the ball majority of the time, and he passed when he needed to, and he was successful. Why Pico McCullough didn't get the ball like that? For one, he was injured for a decent, amount of the season, and it just didn't work out. It wasn't creating a separation, whatever the case was. But that's over with. Okay, Pritchett's out the building. The reason why I do feel like this is a good move for the Pioneers is because I don't understand how I understand he had a rough season, but let's actually talk about his season that he had with the Salt Lake City before he left. So
he don't win this a whole bunch.
This guy threw almost an average of 40 to 45 passes a game. You brought up about how great their running backs were, and they didn't even run these backs. You had a quarterback who is not at an elite status throwing the ball at that amount of times every single week. What do you expect to happen against RFL defenses? He is going to get picked off. The offense is going to look bad with him running it because they are running the offense through somebody they should not be running it through. That is, and look, the interceptions, yeah, they were bad. They were on him. But this is more so the fault of the play calling than it was of McAfton looking bad. Now, he's looked bad sometimes, but we have never seen McAfton look as bad as he did in that season, and they kept throwing the ball with him. Now, with that being said, he wasn't being used right in that final season, I would say, for Salt Lake City. And you guys already know, we talked about this. I tried to get him to throw the ball, and we've seen this happen across, last season. For whatever reason, sometimes they just kept throwing the ball regardless of if you put him in something running or not. But that's what he dealt with in Salt Lake City. Him going to the Diablos, I'm not going to lie. I would be worried that McAfton is with the Diablos. I highly doubt that this offense would be anywhere near even close to what it's going to be if you had Parker Thomas or James Ramos starting for the season. Those guys would have gotten 8 up. Now you have a quarterback that can run your offense. You already run the ball. This is the style of offense that George McAfton should have been in from the get-go with Salt Lake City. Now he doesn't have to throw the ball that much. And if he's accurate, it's going to be tough to stop the Diablos, period. We already know it's tough because of the run game alone. Now that you got a quarterback that's more accurate to make plays at the quarterback position and better reads than what the rookies and the young guys would have did, this elevates the offensive play of Mexico City. Now, once again, this is still at the fault of Forbes for letting Pritchett walk. Pritchett should have never walked. But now, since that happened, this, in my opinion, was the best move you could have possibly made. Because and I know, Rob, you said there's some options. There are not any options for him to get quarterback this year. We talk about being competitive. You want to play just like you want to win. You want to win. You don't want to waste a year. And you said that yourself just now. You don't want to just forfeit a year, have your rookie guy get pummeled, and that's it. What this allows now is for you, the Diablos, to be highly competitive next year because we know the defense is there. The offense was missing a quarterback because they wouldn't have survived. Now you got one who fits this style of offense. And now, with that type of quarterback under the mold, you can now actually develop the guys in the back even more as long as they do their job of putting forth the reloads and developing their player to take over for if McAfton falters in his first season. I honestly feel McAfton is not going to falter this season. And the part that sucks is because of that, James Ramos and Parker Thomas will not be able to play for quite some time. But like you said, Rob, what do we care about in this league? We only care about winning. Putting the best team forward. If you had those other two guys instead of McAfton, that's not putting the best guy forward. That's why I feel like it was a good move for what took place. Should have never got rid of Pritchett, but it was a good move nonetheless. That's my opinion.
So just to follow up on your McAfton take, so are we blaming Salt Lake City for all of the years McAfton's been horrible?
When we say all the years McAfton's been horrible,
yep.
You say he was horrible the year before this season.
Bad quarterback. We've been talking about replacing him.
He's been terrible since I came to the league.
He has not.
Yes, we even gave Mike a hard time for drafting him.
Yeah, he should have never been drafted there. We honestly know that.
And then he
should have got DeAndre
those picked
Wilkins
up after the season started, and he sucked. And then the year before
let's
we thought he was going to draft a
the
quarterback.
dude
And then
came
this year
in
we were
a
going to have him draft a
rookie.
quarterback because he
had
sucked.
no time to be able to even develop. How are you going to
Okay, so
say
that's what
that
I'm
this
asking.
guy
Are we blaming
sucks?
all of his failures
How are we
on
going to
Salt Lake
say
City?
that this
That's all
guy
that's what I'm
sucks?
asking.
It was his rookie year.
But so does
He's
Savoy
not Marquise.
Gino
He's not Gino. We know he's not. I never said he was on their level. The part that I'm saying is I'm not going to say
blaming all of his failures on Salt Lake City.
I'm blaming last year.
So it's not that he has 64 awareness, right?
No. I'm saying
okay.
I'm saying the reason on why he faltered this bad. I'm talking about last season. If you want to bring up those other seasons, he was practically a rookie. He just came into the league. Of course, he's not going to play that great. He didn't come in no elite guy. He just got drafted in the spot that he should have never went. So he's thrusted in an area that James Ramos and Parker Thomas would have been thrown in like this year. Correct? So you can't falter those early years of him saying that he was bad.
You're basically saying that Forbes is using McAfton as a shield right now.
What he's doing is he's going to use McAfton so that he doesn't have to force himself to have a so-called down season until guys develop. You get what I'm saying? Now he actually can be competitive this year on the offensive side of the ball. And if he's not good, at least my guys develop more than what they would have if they were, well, in a sense, you probably it's about the same, but at least you're developing guys behind the scenes. But if this pans out, which I really do think it will, if McAfton balls, Diablos are going to have McAfton signed to a contract for some years, and he's going to be looking like exactly like Preston Schrader looked. Did we not say Preston Schrader looked bad? And what did he do?
I still don't think I don't know if he's going to do good this year again either.
Smitty, I just feel like when you go and you get Ramos in the top, what is it, 18, 19?
Yeah, it was something around there. Yeah, about mid.
I feel like when you go and get Ramos, you're saying to yourself that this is the quarterback of the future because you didn't care enough that Parker Thomas was on the bench. You obviously were looking to replace him, which was someone you felt was going to be a stud. Mm-hmm. And so I just feel like he already forfeited his season with Pritchett being released, with Ramos being signed in the first round over every other quarterback. And now you're going to go and get McAfton from the ARC when you should just stick with just not being that good this season and let Ramos develop at quarterback or stay loyal to Parker Thomas.
But
because obviously he was over those two guys.
From that point at what you said, the part of saying you should stick with developing your guy after you made that decision, he's not going to do that. He wants to be competitive. That's the part where he's like, no, I don't. I'm pretty sure this is exactly how this came about. He wanted to rock out exactly like how you said. When Madden 22 dropped and he started getting in the foul with these dudes, like we were telling him, that's where he messed up. We're telling him, why did you get Ramos? We've been said that, and Ramos was shocked himself that he was drafted there.
He got Ramos. Ramos at 31.
Okay, yeah, but still, like
there were still better quarterbacks for us.
There was, and we told him that you shouldn't have made that move, and he was pretty much like, oh, I'm going to be able to develop my guy. I got my guy. Okay, cool. I think the part where we're getting like where we're saying like, yo, if you're going to go on that, you need to live and die by that. But I know for a fact that what Forbes did was he went and saw these dudes and immediately found out, yo, what they were telling me were correct. These dudes ain't ready. And he has to make a move in order for his team to be at the best they could possibly be on the offensive side of the ball, because you can't try to force run with these quarterbacks, Madison, Axel, because we already know with this fatigue system, Madison, Axel, if he keep running him like they did last season 30 to 40 times, he's going to be out of here. He's going to be injured quick. And at that point, this offense is dead. They have nothing. They don't have a quarterback that's going to be able to throw the ball to the wide receivers. The backup running back, nowhere near like Madison, Axel against RFL defenses. He has no shot. He has no legitimate playoff push shot with the guys that he thought was going to be able to sustain off of. He made this move to be competitive.
My thought was that he knew that already. Like, because I don't see why you would. I mean, okay, I see why he left Pritchett. He was he was not good anymore. I guess Pritchett was not good anymore. Is that right, Bill?
Pritchett is still 2 overalls better than McAfton is.
I never understood
he's got 30. He's got 30 higher awareness.
Well, in his mind, whether it was money or whether it was just play style, he just didn't want Pritchett anymore.
Money.
So he let Pritchett go. Okay, so I thought that when he did that, he knew that he was not going to be able to compete for a Reload Bowl this season. And I thought that's what it was. When he reached out, he didn't reach out to me, but when he reached out to the committee about the trade or whatever, and I heard that he traded for McAfton, and I saw he gave up the 2nd rounder and the 4th rounder, I kind of just shook my head a little bit because, I saw that that's going to fix his quarterback problem temporarily. As someone said, he's a bridger. Okay. But I just felt that, man, a 2nd and a 4th for next season, knowing the draft, how the draft may end up being, it's kind of, I felt it was kind of risky. It's not the end of the world giving up your 2nd and your 4th, but if in fact McAfton is going to be just a bridger, then is it really worth the 2nd and the 4th? If he's going to be the long-term quarterback,
this is the part where I agree, but the part where it's more than a bridger.
Wait, hold on. If he's not going to be a bridger and he's going to end up being a long-time quarterback, then Ramos at 31 is a terrible pick.
Either way you look at it, he knows he had to have known he messed up somewhere, which was it's either the pick or this move. But this move was way less of it being. I don't think this move is the problem at all. It was the Ramos pick, because you could have got something better. You might not have you might not have had to do this. If look, Leo Moon was on the board. No, Leo Moon could have been here developing. He would have been able to move at a more exponential rate than Ramos would have. He's an active community member, just as active. And like that would have panned out extremely well for them. But I don't think that the move here for McAfton was the problem. The problem was, of course, Ramos and letting Pritchett go. This is I need to make up for this because I can still be competitive. Because this makes the Diablos very competitive still.
Well, and not only Pritchett must have been asking for a lot of money. I'm assuming.
He was asking for a lot of money. Asking for money. He definitely.
I hate when they do that, man. I hate when they just ask for a ridiculous amount of money and they're not that. Well, I'm not gonna say not that good, but they're just not. They're at the end of their career and they ask for all that. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand how he's kind of forced into a corner there where he has to make a decision, and it's difficult being a new coach and having to make a quick decision because you don't have a lot of time for these things and guys won't trade you. People are afraid to trade.
This is why I see this move though being the fact that this could turn into McAfton being your future guy, and he's already at an 80. This could be success for years for the Diablos offense. There's always that there's that case that he doesn't play that bad, that he plays a little bit the same, that he's not going to be good as we probably think he might be. But when you look at the type of quarterback he is, the type of offense he's going into, the fact that he is not going to be throwing the ball like he was in Salt Lake City, this is the best place for you to be able to get the best out of McAfton. Not to mention that since McAfton has not been an active community member, he has not been a fully active community member, he can dev McAfton, and this guy could turn out being an 88 by the end of the season, top 5 in the league passing.
Rest in peace to Ramos and rest in peace to Parker Thomas, man.
Yeah, rest up RIP to those guys. But this is what happens in a pro setting. That we always preach that this stuff happens. Whoever I can get, if I could get the best player to be on my team, I feel for you, but we can't care about feelings because this is what's going to help us succeed. And Ramos, I like his attitude towards it because he always looks at it like, oh, I'll get it eventually. He'll grind and earn the spot, which I think at a point, because of the age difference, he will. But it's going to be a longer wait.
Not if coaches put money on McAfton.
Yeah, if he's able to put money on McAfton, he'll stay there.
Ramos will never catch up.
I'm saying he'll start regressing though by the time Ramos is 20. He's 26. So by the time 4 years, he could be regressing. You know what I'm saying? He could be already getting knocked down some, and then he might just be one if McAfton just starts not playing at his best. By the time his extra contract is done, Ramos could be by 3 years a 80 overall, and he can make that move now, and I can let him fall off. That's still a good possibility.
Yeah.
I just don't think McAfton's the guy. I think there's a reason that you don't even think he's the guy.
I know for a fact that he's going to play way better with the Diablos.
Okay, so you know that, right?
I know.
That's why you acting as the commissioner of the Pioneers instead of changing the playbook, which is the problem. Traded for another quarterback, right?
Could I change that?
You couldn't change the playbook ahead of this season?
No, look, I had their playbook. I can't change their book.
No, I'm saying now this year, you couldn't have changed their playbook philosophy to match what McAfton would have been good at since he's so good. But instead, you traded for a different quarterback that's older than him.
You're trying to put in that I'm saying he's an elite style quarterback. I never said that. What I'm saying is that just because he played bad, y'all are putting him in a trash category. McAfton is not trash. That's the point. I'd say he's playing trash because of the style of system he was in. That was it. Diablos, all I need for backing, I can't tell you right now because of what he did, but I'm putting my money on McAfton being way better than he was with the Pioneers, with the Diablos than he was with the Pioneers. And I'm willing to bet.
You don't think Trey Allen's a better quarterback, right?
No, I feel Trey Allen is a better quarterback. He was a better quarterback.
Why did you go get him then if you believe in George McAfton?
Trey Allen's a better quarterback than George McAfton.
He's a 2 overall difference, and he's older than
Trey Allen is a better quarterback
who hasn't started
McAfton.
In 2-3 years.
That doesn't matter. He is a better quarterback than George McAfton. He's not fitting the system that he was currently in. I can get Trey Allen a better quarterback at the same age. Yes, I'm going to make that move. And I'm going to trade George McAfton, which I did. And he's in a better place.
Oh, he's in a better place. If McAfton isn't the problem, then one would think the team wouldn't get rid of him.
This is what I'm saying. You're saying as if he was the soap. I already said what the problem was. The problem was they kept throwing the ball. And y'all were there when I was trying to put him in the system.
How is Trey Allen going to make any difference there?
Because what if they don't throw the ball like that? What if they don't throw the ball like that?
Should have been an MVP this year, then, right?
No, that doesn't mean that at all. How not? If Trey Allen is a better, what do you mean? What are you trying to say? If Trey Allen is a better quarterback than he is, right? He has a better chance that if they do throw the ball more, of being more successful than George McAfton. He's a better quarterback. So that's what I'm saying.
How much did the draft picks weigh in on this with this trade?
The draft picks? What you mean?
Yeah, the draft picks of the Diablos, right? Because it was they
gave a second and a fourth.
So it was just a second and a fourth from McAfton.
Yeah.
So
I would have kept
McAfton. What was going through your mind with that? Was going through your mind with that? Like,
what do you mean you would have kept him? You offered him.
The only reason I offered him, you the one brought him up. I would have.
No,
did I start up the trade?
I was trying to make a trade.
I start up the trade conversation.
You came in the chat and you're like, I'll give you
the trade conversation.
That's exactly what happened.
I never went to Forbes.
Everybody was on the call and could back me up on that.
You are in here.
Don't even.
Did I start up the trade conversations when we was in there?
Hold on. Let me talk here. All right, guys. Here for the camera. All right, right to you guys. I'm in a chat with Forbes, literally discussing a potential trade for one of my quarterbacks. Smitty comes flying in and he goes, "Oh, well, why don't you trade for McAfton? I think I could trade him." Now all of a sudden, you didn't try to trade him. You didn't bring it up. No, I brought it up.
You brought that up. If you never brought up a trade in front of me, I would have never did it. I never actively looked to trade McAfton.
If you ever invite Smitty to your house, make sure you hide the knives.
You already know. You already know.
Hide the axes. Hide everything sharp.
Bill, who was it you was trying to trade? Bill, who was it you was initially trying to trade to?
Homicide, man.
It was quarterback, right?
I was trying to give him. I was trying to move Everett Bradley as a backup reserve option for him, and you came in and said, "Why don't you just take McAfton?"
This is exactly why I traded McAfton to him. First of all, you should have never brought that up in front of me. I don't even know why
That's
you would
not
even
what
bring
that-
it.
I don't
No,
care about
but
that.
I'm saying
I don't care about
you don't
that.
talk
You
about a
told
trade
me-
in front of me
No,
because
listen.
I just looked at the thing and I was just like, he's trying to give Everett Bradley, who's a 70-something overall, through
Yeah.
7 picks in one game. And
Yeah.
he's looking for a starting quarterback.
Yep.
Everett Bradley would have started, but he would have been
I don't
nothing
care
like
about
George
any of that,
McAfton.
Smitty.
It don't matter.
You just
it don't
told
matter.
the whole
But look,
podcast that
I just
brought
told
it up, and I'm the reason it
you
happened.
did.
When you're the
If
one who
you
did.
never brought up a trade in front of me, I would have never traded McAfton. Is that
How are
not
you
correct?
using that for a reason to
That
blame
is
me
a
for
reason.
the whole thing?
That is a
You
reason.
decide.
That is a.
It's
I
not
would
like
have
Forbes
never
came to you and
because
begged you for
the
McAfton.
reason
You
why
gave him up on
the
a silver
reason why
platter
that
'cause
makes
you didn't
sense.
believe he was
The
there. That's
reason
why you went and got
the
Trey Allen
reason
last
why
year.
that makes
Don't
sense.
pretend now.
The reason why that makes sense is because you said I would have never kept George McAfton. I would have
Thank
kept
you,
him
Forbes.
until
Thank you, Forbes, in the
you
chat.
brought him up. The minute you brought up a trade with a quarterback,
No, you ain't twisting
oh
this
yeah,
on
I'm
me.
gonna go. Ain't nobody
No,
twisting
you
it.
ain't.
You
You
are the
ain't twisting
reason
it on
that
me.
McAfton is traded. You are the
Nope.
reason. You are the reason
I
that
ain't even
McAfton
listening
is
to this,
traded.
man. Ain't no way you're twisting this on
How
me.
am I
alright?
twisting?
You were ready to give McAfton away for a Subway 6-inch turkey and cheese sandwich, okay?
Traded after
Because
you
you
brought
know
the
that
trade.
he ain't a good quarterback,
After
and that's why you traded for Trey Allen.
Tell me that. Is that not correct? After you brought up that trade, that's when I brought up McAfton. Have I ever talked to you
Because
ever
realized
about
somebody
trading
actually wanted his
McAfton?
bum ass.
Yeah, because you tripping. You tripping.
My bad,
Goddamn. But look.
Whoa!
Now you
Guys.
bugging. But look, play the
Guys.
bell for Bill.
That just came
But look, Bill, the trade would have never happened. That's all I'm saying. The trade would have never happened if you didn't try to trade in front of me. Which means
That's not
my
the point,
argument.
though.
No, it is. This. You're missing my point. My argument is that I would have never traded George McAfton if you never did that. I never talked to Forbes about ever trading for George McAfton to him until you brought that up, because I knew that McAfton would make for a better starting quarterback than what you were trying to give him.
I wasn't giving him a starting quarterback. I wasn't.
Hey, guys,
You telling me that if he gave, why would he trade for him then? Why would he trade for your guy?
Hey, Smitty. It's starting to get to New Jack City levels, man. We gotta go ahead and end this, man.
Oh no, that's good. No, but I'm just saying. At the end of the day, we're like, yeah, we not even like that lit. We not even that lit. Other than he let the one word out, but you know what I mean.
The chat listened, man.
But we're not like fired up like that, guys. Like we talk like this on a daily basis.
I did, CP.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, so he brought up the A word on McAften. It's all good.
Hey,
but look, this is what I'm saying.
But
this is what I'm saying though.
Bill, why couldn't you have used it the correct way though? Applied it to his name.
But
all
I'm saying is this: if you're gonna say that McAfton is that, why would Forbes take that trade instead of yours?
He's looking at the overall.
Because he knows McAfton would make for a better starting quarterback than Everett Bradley.
If he fixes him, yes.
Because he knows that. It's not no if. He knows that if that wasn't the case, he wouldn't have did it.
I just didn't like how you tried to blame me for giving
McAfton
McAfton
are the
away.
reason McAfton is going. If you never brought that up, he would have never left.
That's some denial right
If you talk to him behind closed doors, how is that denial? Tell me.
Because you didn't have to offer McAfton,
Why?
man.
Who brought that into that situation though? Did you not bring that up?
You brought it into the situation.
You brought up a quarterback.
Part of the conversation, man.
We talking about what? I was there. How wasn't I part of the conversation? I was talking with you. How did I hear the conversation? How did I know you were going to trade? So if that was the case, if that was the case, I would have never did that if you didn't bring that up. I'm not blaming you for the trade. I'm saying you're the reason that he got traded. That's all I'm saying.
So you went from wanting to keep McAfton to wanting to trade him because you heard me talking about a trade.
Exactly.
That makes sense to you?
That makes you the reason he left.
Let me get homicide.
You're the reason he left. You were the reason he left.
That doesn't even make sense. We're done with
He got a lot of bodies, guys. He got a lot of bodies, man.
That's all I'm saying. He would have never left. I had no intentions of trading him. That's what I was saying until I saw the opportunity. I would have never saw the opportunity.
Makes sense.
That's all I'm saying. But this McAfton rant going on, I went on long enough. We had got a word slipped in and all types of stuff. But hey, lit podcast, man. That's all. We don't have any extra things here, and of course we're beyond our time. It's almost midnight in our time, Eastern time. So we're gonna dead the open questions and look forward to next week's podcast, man. Hopefully as entertaining. But we'll see you guys. Yeah, We'll see you
They said
guys
free Rob.
next time, man. You said free mix? Why they saying that?
Free Rob. They said free mix.
For
Why y'all
once in
saying
the, I think for once in the world, the chat is actually on my side and not
How are they
Smitty's
on
side.
your
That's
side?
crazy.
How are
Because they
on your
know.
side? Who was saying anything on your side?
They know, man.
How?
all good.
How? Where is this?
man.
Where
All
is this at on your side?
Right here, Q-Pack. From what I'm saying, it's your fault, Smitty. All your fault.
Hey, I pulled the trigger.
Forbes, how are you going to blame Bill for that?
Would have never happened if you didn't bring it up. That's all it
So
is.
that's why I'm not talking about nothing around Smitty no more, man.
Don't do it.
I don't
Look, he
care.
know. Rob, no.
No reviews.
It
No
would have
reviews,
never
man.
happened if you didn't bring up a trade in front of me.
Only
That's
time
all
we
it
gonna
is.
find out about it is when I put it in the channel. No reviews, man. No,
That's it.
no, I'm not. Smitty
Hey.
be swooping, man.
I just got Trey Allen and I could send my mans over there. Yeah, I'm doing that. Second and fourth round
man.
pick, baby. With that being said, that's it for us tonight. And I will see you guys next Wednesday. Peace.
Oh, man.
It's a brand new season, baby. Touchdown, 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 touchdown. Touchdown. It's a brand new season, been a long wait. Saw some players up, put them on my highlight tape. College series here, gotta hear my name on draft day. AR in the pocket, automatic, that's a closed case. Excitement building up, I ain't been asleep in 3 days. Gotta make a statement to the scouts on the first play. Only way to win, you gotta dominate in each phase. Offense, defense, and can't forget the special teams. I ain't work for nothing, went through summer camp with 2 a days. Gotta win the natty, only satisfied with first place. I hear them haters hating on my team, but I ain't hearing them. If they line up on the other side, then we ain't fearing them. One false move, hit stick, defense killing them. Knew them boys were sweet, up inside, banana pilling them. We up next, time to show we the best around.
ROWDY, that's how we...
Rep your team and rep your town. You're looking at the future of the league, yeah, it's here and now. Step on the field, boy, you best believe it's going down. Cause yeah, you know we scoring. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Touchdown, 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 touchdown.